We're looking forward to the 2023 NHL Awards, Bridgestone Arena, Nashville. Dierks Bentley handling the hosting duties. Among the notable awards announced, the Hart Memorial Trophy, of course, that goes annually to the League's most valuable player. Now, live on TNT, you'll see that one. Right here, we start with our picks. I'm coming to you first, Connie. 2023 Vezina Trophy finalists listed on the screen. Who wins it, in your opinion?
You know, I'm going with the guy in the middle, Ilya Sorokin, the goaltender for the New York Islanders. And part of the reason is because he doesn't get a lot of run support, meaning the New York Islanders don't score a lot of goals. So if he's going to win games, he cannot allow any more than 2, and that's what he did an awful lot this year. In fact, that's how they got to the playoffs this year. Ilya Sorokin, if he didn't play as well as he did, and I like Connor Hellebuyck. You know, Ullmark, yeah, he had a fantastic season stat-wise, but he has an all-star defense in front of him. That makes his job a lot easier. I don't think Sorokin's was that easy, so that's why I went with Sorokin.
Torture up.
But ERA not pretty good, but run support not there either. But
yeah,
mark it down. I'll mark.
I like it.
Historic season, most wins, most points ever in the NHL history. He's in the top 5 in NHL history for save percentage for the year. So, you know, and I guess, you know, my heart's still in Boston, so I'm going to go with the Boston goaltender.
It's hard to argue. They'll get the Jennings, too. Swayman and Ullmark, teammates through and through. Let's move on to the Rookie of the Year, the Calder. This is a treasured award. Earlier in the show, we were talking about Connor McDavid. Because of his injury, he wasn't able to win that. He's won everything else, of course. Beniers, Power, Skinner, your call. Who are you going with, Connie?
I'm going with Matty Beniers. He was such a difference maker as a youngster. He looks like he's 30 years old. I mean, hard to believe he's a rookie. He did play a little bit the previous season after his college career, so he got a taste of the NHL, but he took it to another level with Seattle. A big part of the reason they made it to the playoffs. He can play it any way you want. He's certainly not afraid to go to those tough areas. I like Owen Power's game, and as a defenseman, that's tough to do, to come into the NHL and fit in right away as he did in Buffalo, but I go with Matty Beniers.
Yeah, same with Skinner. He was, you know, had a great year for a rookie goalie playing for Edmonton, you know, the way they play defense. And but for me, I go with Beniers. I think that probably their high-end skill best forward for me. And getting to play with Eberle was really good for him. I think it calmed him down a lot. Eberle scored some big goals, and when your teammates are scoring big goals, it gets you to be a little bit more confident early in the season, and the coaches put him in a great spot. He did a fantastic job on the power play. I thought they were dangerous on the power play, and it's something, you know, with I call him Dickie Dunn, but Dunn had an incredible year and offensively, and you know, keeping that group of 5 guys together, they play really well offensively.
To the Norris Trophy, which the plaque will tell you is presented annually to the best all-round defenseman. Not all around, all round. Fox, Makar, Carlson, usual suspects. They've all won it before. Who wins it this year, Connie?
Just because of the year he had, Erik Karlsson. Not many defensemen put up over 100 points in a season. In fact, I think only 8 have done it over the last 50 or 60 years, and he is certainly one of them. The thing that stood out to me, San Jose doesn't score a lot of goals. That guy, Erik Karlsson, was in on over 43% of the goals they scored. He was either scoring them himself or assisting on them. That's tough to do, especially on a team that struggles, and they struggle to score. Erik Karlsson really came out. Now, he's won the Norris in the past, but I think with Brent Burns, who played in San Jose up till this year, going to Carolina, he became the guy. He was the man, and he took advantage of it, and I think he's going to win the Norris Trophy.
Yeah, it's a great point, Steve. I think it freed him up and knew that he was going to be the guy on the power play, 5-on-5, all offensive zone face-off situations. Know it was going to run through him. But from day one all the way to game 82, he was the most consistent player. He's the all-time defenseman point leader for them in 1 year. So, you know, it speaks volumes. I think that him having a healthy year was big, and also he enjoyed the season, even though they didn't get the wins that they wanted. But they were in a lot of games, and he was the big reason, the big factor why they were always in the games.
And if Cale Makar, and we saw Cale Makar's numbers, he only played 60 games. If he plays a full season, maybe it's a little different, but I think on a consistency basis, Erik Karlsson's the guy.
You guys, unanimous, total agreement on the last 2. I'm certain that everyone in the hockey universe agrees on this next one. Connor McDavid, David Pastrnak, Matthew Tkachuk. The bottom line. Look at the bottom line. You got to go back to Mario Lemieux in the mid-90s for an NHLer scoring 150 points. Connor McDavid doesn't ride a DeLorean to work. He's not using a time machine. This guy is from another world. We're so lucky to watch him. He's at the peak of his powers. Wow.
Really is, and you saw the goal scoring, his assists. A lot of those, almost 90 assists, were primary assists. He's the guy setting up the eventual goal score. And a lot of times it was Leon Draisaitl, but we've talked about him in the past. He's got the whole package, the skating, the effortless skating, the hockey sense, and the compete level. I mean, here's a guy who loves to score goals. He loves to win. Yeah, you can tell when he gets interviewed after a loss, he doesn't want to be there. He's all about winning. And one day they will win a Stanley Cup with Connor McDavid.
Yeah, and McDavid for me, and I think we're spoiled rotten. We don't give him enough accolades for what he does. He's incredible to watch. But we talked about he wanted to work on his shot. Matthews had the shot coming in, but he's really learned to shoot the puck more, and it's made him even that much more dangerous because he was such a great passer. But to do it, and you talked about Lemieux, I coached against him, and I seen him do it, but not at that speed. But it tells you a lot about how this kid is so dynamic. He does it in so many ways. Look at him. He goes through 4 guys. That's a game-winning goal in the playoffs, I think it was, or the tying goal to get them to overtime. But, night in, night out, exciting to watch, and worth the price of admission.
He is must-see TV. 97 is everything that the NHL is all about.